I believe when you indoctrinate and you allow your kids to be indoctrinated with socialist education, which is starting to happen with great frequency in the United States, tragically. But when you raise up kids in the socialist mind factories of education, which are deliberately designed to dumb you down so that you can't think critically, let's say, about the horrors of socialism, the byproduct is, to be blunt, you go insane in different compartments of reality in your life. Let me give you a case in point. The people of Sweden, they're starting to wake up now. They don't want democratic socialism. But up until recently, they were all on board with democratic socialism. And a peculiar thing about their nation is they were one of the first nations on planet Earth to legalize marriage between men and women and their dogs and their cats and their horses and animals. They were one of the first, Sweden was one of the first nations on planet Earth where you could legally marry your pet, your horse, your dog, or whatever, and you could legally have sexual relationships with your pet, your animal, your dog, or your horse. And I think this lasted for about 30 years. Just in the last number of years, it was such an atrocity, this legalization of marriage between people and their animals and sex, and the legalization of sex between people and their animals in Sweden, that they outlawed it. But the problem is they really haven't outlawed it. They've outlawed it on paper. So like legally, according to the legal document, it's illegal to have sex with your dog or horse or marry your dog or horse. But if you actually do it, nobody's going to really enforce the law. And other democratic socialist nations in the Scandinavian nations currently have the legalization of marriage between you and your animal or pet, and have legalized sex between you and your animal and pet. So why am I saying this? I'm not saying this to be sarcastic. I'm saying that socialism, to embrace socialism, which does not work, is an irrational program. But when you allow your mind to be formed and shaped and programmed by socialist education, it literally, on a neurological level, warps and distorts your brain, your perception, and your critical thinking skills. Why is it that the nation that all these socialist candidates in the United States point to as the great success story for socialism, democratic socialism, Sweden, that's the nation they point to? Why does that also happen to be the nation where for many years they legalized sex between humans and animals and allowed people to marry their dogs, cats and horses and pigs, etc.? I'm not trying to be cute here. There's a relationship between the thinking modalities. When you're dumbed down, it just doesn't stay in the economic sector. It also, when you're dumbed down, it spills out into the practicalities of life. Who in their right mind wants to marry their dog or their horse?